Hi, scientists! So today we are going to learn about physical changes. So you should have this sheet in front of you. If you don't, press pause to get the sheet, press play to begin. So the first thing we need is an essential question. And we need to know, what is a physical change? So if I write, you write. So far, we've learned about our three states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas, and that's going to help us, but it's only going to help us with number 2. So the first thing we need is the definition of a physical change. When I change something on a physical level, I am going to change what the matter looks like, but the matter itself stays the same. So I'm going to show you some demos today for our 3 different types of physical changes. And for each of them, my matter is going to look different, but it will be the same matter at its core. So the very first type of physical change is a shape change. And it's exactly like what the title says. The definition is an object's shape will change, but the matter stays the same. So I have a demo for you about that. And it's going to be a little strange because you're going to look at it top down, just like you can see on my notes. So I have a blank sheet of paper here. It's a big sheet, so I'm going to fold it. And now all of a sudden it has a different shape. I'm going to fold it again. It has a different shape. I'm going to fold it again. It has a different shape. I'm going to crumple it. It has a different shape. I am even going to do something really drastic and rip it in half. It's got a different shape. I'm going to rip it again. I'm going to rip it again. I'm going to rip it again. And now all of a sudden, I have a piece of paper that looks like this. So this looks way different than my big normal sheet of paper. But the matter has stayed the same because it is still matter. So my example would be crumpling a piece of paper. It could be ripping something. It could be cutting or breaking something. I want you to pause and think about, what is something I could rip where my matter would stay the same even though my object looks different. I want you to think about, what's an object I could crumple or I could cut, I could break, and my matter would stay the same, but my object's going to look different. I want you to pause and write in 2 other objects that I could rip or cut where the matter stays the same even though it looks different. I want you to discuss this as a table, come up with a class list, and then press play. All right, so hopefully you have a nice class list. You could even, if I had thought about it before you press pause, write in your things right here. So maybe you want to press pause and make that list. Then we need a picture. So I'm going to do my paper. So I'm going to draw before, to, and after. So before, I had a nice normal sheet of paper here. Then after, I ripped it and I crumpled it. I want to know what my action is. Now it was really teeny and it was all wobbly, but still paper. So my matter hasn't changed, but it definitely looks different. All right, our next physical change is going to be state change. So this is where an object changes state. And we know our 3 states are blank, blank, and blank. But the matter stays the same. I would like you to pause and fill in our blanks. What are our 3 states of matter? Let's press play when you have done that. Okay, so we have our 3 states. I'm hoping that you wrote solid, liquid, and gas. So we need some examples of a state change. Right now I have a really cool one. So it's an ice cube. And right now, ice is a solid. But as it changes shape, and I warm it up a little bit to make it happen faster, now I have all this water on my hands. So this ice has changed from a solid to a liquid. It's still water, it just looks different. And of course, my phone's ringing because it always rings, right? So just like in class, we're going to ignore that for a minute. So an example of this would be ice turns to water. Still water, but looks different. Maybe you would think about this when I have water boiling on a stove. It's going from a liquid to a gas, right? We want to make sure we know ice turning to water is solid to liquid. I'm going to draw a picture of this. So again, I need a before to an after. So here is my ice cube. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm going to say this is ice, which is a solid. I'm going to warm it up. And now I get this puddle of water, which is a liquid. Still the same matter, still water, but it's a different state. I would like you to press pause and make a list of other state changes, things that go from solids to liquids, liquids to solids, things that go from liquids to gases or gases to liquids. For example, maybe if I melt a popsicle. It's still that same juice or whatever my popsicle was made out of, but now it's liquid form. Press pause and create a class list. Press play to begin again. All right, my last example of a physical change is called solubility. This one is a tricky one to say, but is fun to say at the same time. So this is when a powder mixes with a liquid, but the matter, I'm going to have a blank here because I hope that you are looking at what is the definition of a physical change. What did we write about the matter in shape change? What did we write about the matter in state change? So that what can we write about the matter here? Does it change or stay the same? Press pause, fill this out as a class, press play to begin again. Hopefully you have the matter stays the same. So we need to come up with an example for this. So right now, I'm going to have 2 beakers. They are empty. In one beaker, I'm going to pour some incredibly old Kool-Aid mix. Okay, so I can observe it. It's a little hard to see, but it's cherry/tropical flavor, something like that. So it's already currently red. Then I have water. So my example, my powder is my Kool-Aid. My water is my liquid. I pour some of my powder in there. I stir it up. And what do we typically say when this has happened? When I've stirred this up and all of my powder goes away and it goes into the liquid, it starts with the letter D. We say it does something. It has done this. Press pause and see if you can come up with that as a class and press play to begin again. All right, so I'm hoping you came up with the word dissolved because what we need to say for mixes is that it dissolves. because that is a better word to use. I wanted mixes at first because I was hoping you could come up with dissolve. So my example would be dissolving Kool-Aid in water, because it's still there. I haven't created anything new. Sometimes students will say, oh, but it's red now and water's clear. And you're right, except that my powder is red. So the fact that I have the red color is not new. It was in my powder. Now it's just in my 1 cup. So I love that students think like that, like they're always analyzing and questioning. But in this case, my red was there to begin with. I'm going to draw a before and an after. Before, in this, I had some red powder. You may not have red at your table, that's okay. Plus, I have water. I stir to dissolve, and now I get my red Kool-Aid. Still the same matter. I want you to press pause and come up with other things that are soluble, so things that dissolve in liquids. Come up with another list. Press pause to do this as a class. Press play to begin again. All right, I'm really excited to read your lists when I get back on Friday. But we need to go to our summary, and the first thing we write in our summary is always a restate of the essential question. And the essential question says, what is a physical change? So press pause and figure out as a class, how would you make this your sentence starter? What would you do? Press pause to do this, press play to begin. All right, hopefully you have said a physical change is, and then we say when the object looks something, but the matter, something, something, something. Press pause and try to figure out what these blanks should be. Press play to see if you are correct. So it's when the object looks different, but the matter stays the same. Hopefully that's what you had. There are 3 types of physical changes. 1, 2, and 3. The answers are somewhere on your notes. It's not examples, it's the name of the type of change. Press pause and try to figure this out at your table, and then as a class, and press play to begin again. All right, so our first type I know is right here. It is shape change. So there are 3 types of physical changes. Shape change. I know my second one is state change. And my third one is solubility. All right, a physical change is when the object looks different but the matter stays the same. There are 3 types of physical changes: shape change, state change, and solubility. We are going to work more with state, shape, solubility as physical changes, but then also what happens if we create new matter? What is that called? We're going to work more with that tomorrow. Thank you, scientists.